Farah, did you also doodle dress sketches and boring lectures?
An entire range. I could have put together my own collection.
I bet it would have been fabulous. But something that I realized after talking to designers is that they have to think in 3 dimensions.
You know, architects are faced with a similar problem, and I think you met someone recently who has experience in both these disciplines. So let's get the full story.
Should you play it safe or should you follow your heart? That question's okay when you're looking at a pair of shoes, but when it comes to your career, it's a completely different thing. Nazneem Kagee was faced with this choice, and she opted for adventure. And I'm very happy she did, and you'll soon find out why.
Nazneen qualified as an architect and, while working, decided to do some short courses in fashion design. She couldn't resist the siren call of style and so embarked on a new direction.
Nazneen, tell us a little bit about yourself, growing up, at school.
Well, I actually grew up in Cape Town, and I've always been, from a very small age, my parents would tell you I was always into art and drawing. My favorite things to buy were coloring books. And from a very young age, my parents put me in an art school where I sort of honed my skills. And then also going into high school, I was very fond of art and drawing. And then when it came time to choosing what I wanted to do, something in the design field just seemed the right fit. And I ended up going with architecture. And what happened was I applied all over and I got accepted at WITS, and that's how I ended up in Johannesburg initially. I studied architecture here and I lived in Johannesburg for 3 years before moving back to Cape Town to start working.
When did you decide to take a closer look at fashion, and what spurred on the decision?
I was working in the building industry for about 4 years, and I decided I wanted to try something different, and I slowly started getting into it by doing some short courses at CPUT. From the next year, I decided to just go for it full time.
Tell us about your career as a designer and some of your achievements to date.
During my 3rd year, I entered some competitions, and I was very lucky to be selected as finalist in a few of them. The first one was for the Wedding Expo in 2013. After that, Marie Claire had a competition with Johannesburg, with Joburg Ballet, to design Cinderella's ball gown. And I was the winner of that competition. And then following graduation, I entered the AFI Fast Track competition. And I was one of the 4 winners.
Who are some of the local and international designers that you admire and respect?
At the beginning of the year, I mentored with Tula Cindy. He's a designer here in Johannesburg, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences that I could have ever asked for. He's really one of the designers that I most admire.
An outfit may work for you, but not for me, no matter how much I like it. With her training as an architect, Nazneen has a very analytical approach to creating a look. How would you describe your approach to style?
When I'm designing clothes, I always think about how things are going to be put together. And I like to incorporate the construction of the garments into the design of it. So you'll see that a lot of my paneling is emphasized with piping and details like that, so that it really brings out the actual construction of it, so you can see how this thing was made. When it's done really well, it doesn't need any embellishment.
Please take us through your current line, and can you show me the outfits that you're gonna let me try on?
My latest collection was inspired by a Russian folk costume. What I loved about it was the romantic elements. It's very feminine, and a lot of the embellishments are flowers and embroidery. So what I tried to do is I tried to bring that into my collection in a more modern way. For this fabric, for instance, the construction of this knit has the rose pattern in the design.
Like a babushka doll with the roses on their tummies.
Yeah, similar, yeah. Other elements I tried to use, beading, but not the traditional beading that you would maybe see on fabrics that you see in the store. I tried to use it in such a way that it works with the fabric, like the skirt, for instance. This is a brocade fabric, and it's got like this flower pattern in it. And I think this one would actually look really great on you.
Yay!
You look amazing.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
In your opinion, how important is wearability in terms of form and function?
For me, clothing are accessories to your lifestyle. So I always think about the woman who's going to be wearing these clothes. What does she do? What is she like? Will she be able to do those things in the clothes that I'm designing.
Well, I feel extremely comfortable in this, and I think I also look quite nice.
You do?
In terms of body shape, what should one consider when thinking about what they're wearing and their body shape?
It's all about what you want to emphasize and what you want to hide.
I love playing dress up. What's next?
Oh, I really want you to try on this dress. And I'm very excited about this one because this is my first venture into printing my own fabric.
Printing your own fabric?
Yeah, I chose the rose vine print because I think it lent itself very nicely to my Russian folk theme, and I really want to see how you look in it.
And I really want to put it on. Okay, cool.
Nazneen's structured silhouettes were eye-catchers at the Joburg Fashion Week Autumn-Winter Show, where she presented them in her Modern Mystic capsule collection for the AFI Fast Track competition.
This dress actually works much better because we were talking earlier about the figure, because it's close to the body on top, so it doesn't add any bulk. It emphasizes how small you are, cinches you in at the waist and just flows over your figure.
I love this collection. I was looking at pictures on your wall of it. This is beautiful. I love the color palette.
Has this hand painted.
This is hand painted. Sure, that's labor intensive.
Yeah. And these are actually washers. Plumbing washers. Yeah. And then
What about this one at the back here? I've been eyeing this one out for a red carpet.
Yeah,
Hint, hint, nudge,
these are some of
nudge.
my special pieces. I like the print of this fabric. Yeah, this is
the only embellishment I've seen. I love the fact that you choose texture over beading.
Yeah,
because South African designers, I feel, are they're very quick to embellish because they need stuff to be glitzy and glammy.
Yeah.
But the way you are working with fabric is so innovative. I'm sure Nazneen would make an amazing architect, but I think she makes an even better designer. It's always difficult to make a career change, and there's no guarantee of success. But if you're teetering on the brink and believe in yourself, just think of Nazneen and take the plunge.